Here is baby Potato, and we just got back from the vet. He has done his third day of his nebulizer treatments. So now he gets a break for 2 days before going back on Sunday. He's had, oh, good job, baby. So he's waiting for me to feed him his pellets, and he's getting anxious. So with these little babies, the wild doves and pigeons usually do really well with this kind of pellet. This is what my vet recommended. So it's a small hard red pellet, and you can see it's hard and crunchy. But if you soak it in some water for a few minutes, it's going to become spongy and soft. So that's a really good food for these baby birds to eat. And the baby so he only this morning really took to eating by himself, and now he's just going after that pellet. But it's a little bit hard to see on a video, but right about here is his crop, and right now his crop is completely flat because he hasn't eaten for a while. So before I took him to the vet, he still had a little bubble of food left in there. So I wanted him to completely digest his food before feeding again. And the reason for that is because if they are not completely digesting their food, then the old food can kind of get sour and cause some problems. So we want all the old food to be done, and then the new food can fill up the crop and wait for it to empty again. All right, I think I need to help this little buddy. So he is really hungry, but he can't quite get it out of the soaking water. I call it bobbing for apples when the birds learn how to do it, and it's actually really cute, but right now he's just getting wet. So I also, when we do this feeding, I think it can help them learn how to drink because they're putting their mouth into the water to get the food, and at the same time they're getting the moisture from the water and also the moisture from the food. So when they're this little, we actually don't leave out water for them. I just let them fill their crop with the wet food, and then when they go into the incubator, we don't have any extra water or anything because the crop slowly empties into the stomach and gives them all the moisture they need until the crop is empty again. So that's really useful for these baby birds. And for this kind, I kind of let it eat until it's satisfied, but I also keep an eye on the crop. So you'll see as he eats more, his crop is going to get bigger and bigger, and you don't want it to overfill. I'm not sure actually if this kind of bird can overeat and hurt itself, but if I keep an eye on it, I can let him stop when he's had enough. I put about 20 pellets in here this time. This morning I think he ate about 12. So starting with an empty crop, I think that will be good, and then this should get him through the night, so he shouldn't have to eat again until the morning. But he's enjoying it when I pinch these in half. Because it's easy for him to swallow, and his depth perception has gotten a lot better. So the first time birds like this learn how to eat, it's really funny because they will keep missing, and they will keep, they also don't know how to open their beak when they peck, so you'll see their little beak just going down and pecking your hand without opening the mouth and being able to grab the food. So they get really frustrated until they learn to open their mouths, but once they do, they can go so fast. And I love feeding this age of bird because you don't have to crop feed and you don't have to spoon feed, you just let them eat by themselves after you soak the food. And it's pretty cute, it's fun, it's a good way for the birds to engage with kids. So we've let kindergartners at my school, I brought a former bird about this age and let the children hold the wet food in their hand and let the bird gently take it off. So doves are really gentle birds, and they're good to have around kids, at least so far in my experience. I'm not sure if the ones I have will get a little more aggressive when it comes to be breeding seasons in the future and they grow to maturity, but at least as babies, they're incredibly sweet, incredibly gentle, and I find them to be very safe with children and a good way to teach children to be gentle with birds and to teach them about bird anatomy and life cycles and all of the different things that will help them to learn more about science and also to take care of birds when they come across them. So this little guy, let's see, so he has, all right, so he's eaten about 14. Let's see how that crop is doing. Ooh, and he's still interested, but the crop is looking pretty full. Can we see your little crop, please? So let's see if we can see it now. Oh yeah, so it looks like, the crop looks like a pink bubble kind of. The big pink balloon right there. So when I feel it with my hand, that crop is feeling pretty firm. I think he can handle maybe a couple more, but it's getting a bit tight. Oh, here's a good view. If we kind of lift the feathers right here, you can see the tight little crop there. On the baby birds, the crop is much more visible as they get older. It's a lot harder to see the crop unless there's some kind of a problem with it. You don't normally notice the crop on an adult bird. You can have a little bit more. I also am not too afraid of overfeeding this one. We still have to be careful, but most of it is actually liquid. So when he's eating it, he's really only eating 20 of these, which is not that much. So it looks like a lot, but the majority, you can see the difference in size. The majority has been, the majority of this is water. So this also is, this also is good. Usually after he eats, I'll see him, I'll check his poop and make sure that he's actually pooping, so he's moving the food through his digestive system. And I will check on him. So last night, he had a big meal and went to bed, and I didn't see much poop in the cage or in the incubator when I woke him up. So I just kind of held him, played with him, just gently touched the crop a little bit, and when I came back a while later, he had poop. So sometimes they just need to be a little bit active to keep that going when they wake up. But let's see if we can get it. Oh, are you having fun? You're pretty full. I don't think you need more. Oh, he is getting smarter and smarter. So if he keeps eating like this, he is going to grow really fast. Yes, you are. You're going to be a big bird soon. Oh my goodness. Do you need some help? I'm not too worried if he gets wet because he's going back in the incubator, which is set at 30 degrees Celsius. So he will get nice and dry and safe in there. So now we have this from our vet. So today, when our baby bird went there, you can see that this vet visit cost me 730 baht, which is that's going to be about $30 actually. So it adds up, but compared to the cost of treatment in some other places, it is a steal, and it has allowed me, the affordable cost of care here has allowed me to really experience saving a lot of birds, and I don't have to say no to helping a little bird because of financial issues. So that has been really, really nice. And you can see today when he went, he had nebulization cost 200 baht, antibiotics and anti-inflammatory was 100 and 150. And so that actually is the injection. So when he's been going recently, the vet will give him the shot to inject the medicine. But now that he doesn't have to go every day because he's improving, he has to take this with me. So that's this one, the antibiotics and the anti-inflammation. And those are to help his pneumonia that he had when we found him, with all the air in his crop from trying to breathe and not being able to breathe. So when I get the meds, they're in a little bottle like this. When we first had him, he didn't have a name, so it says Little Bird. Now we call him Potato. So you can see it tells you how much and the times. So he has to take an antibiotic, 0.06 milliliters, and 1 time a day in the evening. So actually I don't have to give this today. I'll be doing this tomorrow, because the vet has already injected today. And then also tomorrow he will have his anti-inflammation drug, and that's going to be 0.1 milliliters in the morning and in the evening after his meal. So after he eats like that, I will take this, I will shake it up, I will put the syringe in, then I will use one hand to gently open his beak and the other hand to gently push the syringe in. And I will show how to do that later. But it looks like he has finished all of his food, that little stinker. So somebody learned how to bob for apples today. And, oh yeah, now that cut fills nice and full. So we have a full crop. We are happy. Are we ready to go to bed? So it's about 7 o'clock here, and the sun goes down between 6 and 7 here in northern Thailand. So I've noticed that the wild birds have they're really connected to that natural cycle where when the sun goes down, it's time to sleep, and when the sun comes up, it's time to wake up. So we're gonna put him home. Actually, we'll change out his paper towel because you can see here some of the poop on there, and I put some shavings under it, but it's time to put a clean one. And that's one way that I keep track of the poop, is by putting a clean paper towel and seeing what the poop looks like to make sure it's good. So we'll let him go home, and then he will go to sleep, and we'll do it all over again tomorrow. But he is doing fabulous. I think he is going to successfully recover, and we will see as he gets a little bit older what kind of species he is. And I have a couple guesses, but we'll find out for sure. But he is a sweet little guy. If I can keep hand feeding and holding him every day, then he should really become a really tame little lovely bird. All right, goodbye.